Hello students, this is Miss Obermeyer. Today we're going to learn about the levels adjustment layer, and we're going to learn how to check and possibly reset the black and white point. The levels adjustment layer is located over here in the adjustments on the panels. Right now, if I open my layers panel, you'll see I just have a background layer and it is locked, so I can't move it. If I would like to add an adjustment layer, I click on Adjustments, and it gives me all the options for the adjustment layers. All of these are layers that will hang above the image and change the way it looks, but you can get rid of them at any time. They're not making, they're not destructively editing. They're not changing the pixels. Okay, so you can go back at any time as long as you save it as a TIFF or as a Photoshop document. You can go back into your adjustment layers and change them or delete them. So when I hold my cursor here, you will see the different names for the adjustment layers. Okay, so I'm going to go to the levels adjustment layer here, and we see in the levels adjustment layer you get what's called a histogram. A histogram is a graphical representation of where all of the tones in the image fall, from maximum black on the left to dark gray, and then to medium gray here, middle gray, lighter gray, until we get all the way to maximum white. Okay? With a histogram, you want to make sure that the data is going all the way from the black side to the white side, that you have a full range of tones. Okay? If your histogram looks like this, where the data does go all the way to the black slider here and all the way to the right slider on the other side, then you just leave it alone. It's good to go. On this next picture, it's a little bit overexposed. Okay, it's a little bit too bright. So we're going to look, there's our background layer. We're going to click on Adjustments, click on the Levels Adjustment layer. So over here, you're going to notice that there is no data where the black pointer is. Okay, there is data where the white pointer is. It's a very flat line. When you have a flat line of data, you can decide to kind of pull the pointer in a little bit further. Let me show you. So here I'm going to take, this is black, there is no data there. When I pull this over, it's going to make whatever I point to into black. Now if I pull it all the way over, I can make the whole thing black. Okay, but the point is to just make the darkest tone in the picture into maximum black. So if I line it up where the data begins, that would be right here. As I said earlier, when there's a flat line, sometimes it's better to pull the slider just to where the data starts to rise like a hill. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Over here, since I do have that little flat line, I might pull it in a little bit there too. But I can move them back and forth and kind of judge which one I like better. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now we have reset the black point and the white point so that the data is the darkest point in the picture is indeed black. Okay. This one is an underexposed picture, not enough light. So we're going to go to the adjustment layer. We're going to take our click on levels adjustment layer, and you can see there's a giant gap over here on the white slider. Okay, or on the white side. There's no data here from white through a lot of the light grays. So if we take the slider, we're going to move it in until it hits the data. Now with this one, I probably would go in with a different adjustment layer to adjust the midtones. You can do it in levels, but we're going to learn how to do it in an adjustment layer called curves. So we'll just leave this one the way it is, and you can see the improvement. It's opening up those shadows. There we go. All right. Okay, and our last image here is a very low contrast looking image. Everything is kind of middle gray. So we're going to go again to the adjustments. We'll go to levels, and you can see that there's no data over here on the black side, no data over here on the white side. Everything is concentrated in the middle. So we're going to take the black slider, pull it into the data until it hits the data. Take the white slider, pull it into the data until you hit the data, and you can see how that improved it. Any of these adjustment layers, if I open up my layers palette, we can turn this little eyeball off to see what it looked like before, and turn it on to show how we changed the image. And you can see there's a great improvement there. Okay, from here, you would save the image as a TIFF or possibly a PSD, but we're going to go with the TIFF. File, and we're going to go to Save As. Okay. I am suggesting that you save to the Creative Cloud and save on your computer so you have a backup. So first I'm going to save to the cloud. I'm going to call this low contrast, and let's see here. Since I do have an adjustment layer, it's automatically probably going to save it as a PSD. Okay, but since it's in the cloud, I would be opening it in Photoshop anyways. So to save it as a TIFF, I'm going to File, Save As, save on my computer. If I have a specific folder, I find that folder, or I can create a new folder and call it Levels Practice. And create. And here, instead of on the format, I'm going to change it to a TIFF instead of a PSD. Notice here, I can open or close this window with this little arrow. Okay, I'm going to push save. It's going to give me the TIFF options. There should be no compression. The pixel order should be interleaved. The byte order Macintosh, and the layer compression RLE, faster saves bigger files. Okay, and there will be a blue line at the bottom showing you when it's done saving. So you would save each image like that. Okay, now you give it a try. Thanks. Bye.